Hi, my name is Lenny Henry, and I'm here to talk about light bulb jokes and comic relief. Well, we launched the other day, hugely successfully, on a boat. Russell Brand was nearly sick, and it was a really fantastic launch. We saw the first showing of the Girls Aloud Sugar Babes video, which is called Walk This Way. So if you buy that, some of the proceeds from that will go towards comic relief. Russell Brand is going to be hosting the last hour, and he was suitably filthy and naughty on the day and very sexy. I don't know what he had in his hair. I don't know. It was tickling the jetliner that flew over her. It was so high, his hair, Russell Brand's hair. And he's going to be on it. Mitchell and Webb are on the show. Catherine Tate's on the show. Little Britain have filmed a special version of their live show for comic relief. Ricky Gervais is on the show. It's going to be phenomenal. And we've seen some amazing things in the last 21 years with comic relief. I've been over several times to Africa and I've seen amazing things. I've seen water projects, I've seen inoculation projects and pastoral projects. And every time I go there, I just think it would be great if comic relief didn't exist and this was all right. But while it's not all right, let's keep doing it because people need us. You know, people are dying. So anything we can do to help is what we want to do. And, you know, my big thing is, it's called the big one, but think about making a bigger donation than you've ever given before. So if you gave £1 last time, give £2 this time. So that's what I'd like people to do. And it's great for kids, you know, kids can dress up as their parents and go to school. They can wear their parents' clothes to school. They can wear big hats or big beards or big wigs or big bling. They can really get into the spirit of things. npower are doing this amazing thing whereby if you ring up and ask for a quote, they'll give £1 to comic relief. And it's not an obligation. You know, you don't have to switch if you don't want to. But if you switch, npower say they will donate £5 to comic relief, which is an amazing thing. We could make a ton of dosh with this. So please, please ring them up at least. And you get an energy-saving light bulb and some energy-saving tips and some light bulb jokes. And on that, we are doing this book of light, which is going to be full of light bulb jokes. And if you want to be involved with that, you have to send your joke to www.npower.com/light bulb jokes. By the way, the phone number for the npower thing is 0800 980 2140. And there's some really, really funny ones. Do you want to hear some? All right. How many roadies does it take to change a light bulb? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. How many divorced men does it take to change a light bulb? None. They never get the house. And the third one, my favourite one, is how many Vietnamese vets does it take to change a light bulb? You don't know, man! You weren't there! Well, I quite like that one. We've got a big push on mental ill health this year because it affects young people, and we're very interested in things that affect young people. I went to a project recently called Sound Minds in Battersea, and it's a music therapy place where you can go and you can make music and you can make demos and you can even form a band if you want. And the bands from there go and play all over the country, and it's a really fantastic place. It's a small facility, and they'd like to expand, and I think it's an eminently replicatable project. You could do it in the big cities all over the country, but they need investment and they need money and they need more staff. And I went and had a look around there, and it was fantastic. Last year I went to Tanzania and looked at some of the projects there, and they're just fantastic. You know, I mean, it's people with disabilities living in the foothills of Kilimanjaro with no access to, you know, access to a job. You know, if they're an avocado farmer and the avocados have dried up because of the drought, so when you peel it, there's nothing there. They've got no other way of making any money. There's also a thing about street children in Tanzania, where there's something ridiculous like 1 million street children, you know, kids living out on the street, and it's awful. And there's a great thing that Comic Relief are doing, which is funding the ability to get these kids back with their parents. So we will have paid for a computer database and 2 or 3 members of staff whose job it is to go out and find these kids and find their parents and get them back together. And we're also doing a big thing on malaria this year, because malaria is a preventable disease. We can inoculate against it. And there's a heartbreaking film that we saw at the launch where this mother is trying to get a kid to hospital, and for want of transport and a quick way to get to the main road, the child dies before it gets to the hospital. And it's just, you know, we're all comedians. Our job is to communicate. It's not our job to cry, but actually you wanted to cry. Everybody was crying. We're also doing, I went to a battered wives refuge in Edinburgh, which is brilliant. Because of Comic Relief, you can, if you're being abused, you can drop everything, not take a credit card, not take any money, get on a train, go hundreds of miles away and know that you can be safe and that your kids will be safe too. I went to Edinburgh Young Carers, and there are kids there they're just unlucky, their dad's sick or their mum's sick, and the kids suddenly have to clean the house, cook the breakfast, take the younger kid to school, do other stuff, do a part-time job to bring some money in. And what we do with the Edinburgh Young Carers and with other Young Carers Association is we organise a day where they go bowling or to the pictures or things like that. So Comic Relief do great things, and both here and in Africa, where, let's face it, 21 of the poorest countries in the world are in Africa, and people are dying. So let's try and help them live. Think big. Think big. It's called the big one, so think big. If you gave £1 last time, give £2. If buying the Book of Light on Amazon.co.uk is what you do, then great, do that. If buying if buying the Red Nose or the T-shirt at TK Maxx or whatever, do that. But whatever you do, think big.